The US and China have very opposing views on the sovereignty of Taiwan and are willing to fight over it. A conflict of this size between world powers usually reminds the world of two things. 1. Submarines are crucial to win. And 2. Never forget one. In light of these, simulations and experts alike have placed great focus on submarines to determine who will win in this battle of the US versus China. If China attacks Taiwan today, the U.S. Navy's submarines could be the first defenders to take shots at the Chinese invasion fleet. A successful U.S. submarine campaign could help bring the war to a swift end, preserving Taiwan's independence and blunting China's global ambitions. However, win or lose, the U.S. Navy should brace for heavy losses. According to war simulations organized by the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, even a victorious American submarine fleet could suffer staggering losses against the Chinese Navy. In multiple scenarios where the U.S. won, the U.S. Undersea Force, which today numbers 53 nuclear-powered submarines, lost up to a quarter of its boats, along with thousands of sailors. Losses aren't uncommon in wars, though, so this is still a victory. Referencing the immense contribution they would make to the Taiwan campaign and the decades-long nuclear deterrent capabilities, submarines are a top priority for the U.S. Navy, one that the service is prepared to go all out for. Costing billions of dollars per vessel, American submarines wield some of the best technologies the underwater world has ever seen, making them some of the most powerful in the world, as we'll now see. The U.S. has three major submarine classes. The first is known as SSBNs, nuclear-powered and nuclear-armed submarines that can destroy entire cities in minutes. The second and third are known as SSNs and SSGNs, nuclear-powered but not nuclear-armed submarines that could counter enemy submarines trying to prevent the SSBNs from deploying their nuclear payloads. The most powerful, notable, and jaw-droppingly impressive members of these classes are the Ohio-class, Columbia-class, and Virginia-class submarines. A closer look. Ohio-class. The Ohio-class is a fleet of 18 nuclear-powered submarines that serve as the backbone of U.S. strategic deterrence and global strike capabilities. They are the largest and most advanced submarines ever built for the U.S. Navy, and they can perform a variety of missions, from launching ballistic missiles to deploying special forces. The $3.2 billion 19,000-ton vessels with a top speed of 25 knots and an unlimited range carry 70% of America's deployed nuclear arsenal, making them the most destructive weapon system created. Ohio-class submarines come in ballistic missile-wielding SSBN and guided missile-wielding SSGN variants. The SSBNs carry 20 Trident II D5 submarine-launched ballistic missiles, or SLBMs, each with up to 12 nuclear warheads. The Trident II D5 has a range of over 7,000 miles and can strike targets with high accuracy and stealth. The SSBNs are responsible for maintaining a continuous at-sea presence, ready to launch their missiles in response to a nuclear attack on the U.S. or its allies. This is enabled by the Ohio-class ability to dive to depths of more than 1,500 feet, remain submerged for up to 90 days at a time, and operate for 15 years without refueling. The SSBNs are named after U.S. states, such as Ohio, Tennessee, and Wyoming. The SSGNs were converted from the first 4 SSBNs that were built to wield the older Trident I C4 SLBMs. The SSGNs have been modified to carry 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles instead of SLBMs, as well as special operations forces and equipment. The Tomahawk missiles can strike targets on land or at sea with conventional or nuclear warheads. The SSGNs can also support covert missions such as reconnaissance, surveillance, and infiltration. The SSGNs are named after U.S. regions such as Florida, Georgia, and Michigan. The Ohio class was commissioned in 1981 for a service life of 40-plus years that'll end in the 2030s, after which they'll be replaced by the new Columbia-class SSBNs. Columbia-class. Also operated by a similar complement size as the Ohio of 155 people, the Columbia-class is a new class of 12 SSBNs under development to replace the 14 Ohio-class SSBNs in service. Once completed, they will be the largest and most advanced submarines ever built by the U.S. and will provide the sea-based leg of the U.S. strategic nuclear deterrence triad for decades to come. Each Columbia-class submarine, with a displacement of 21,000 tons and a top speed of 20 knots, will be powered by a nuclear reactor that can operate for the 40-year service life of the submarine without refueling. The class will be equipped with an enlarged version of the Virginia-class sonar system and a pump jet propulsor for improved stealth and maneuverability over its predecessor. The Columbia-class submarines will carry 16 Trident II D5LE SLBMs, each with up to 12 nuclear warheads. The Trident II D5LE is an upgraded version of the Trident II D5 missile with enhanced accuracy, service life, and reliability. As a result, the Columbia-class submarines will be able to launch the 7,000-mile range missiles from whatever ocean depth while traveling at whatever speed. The Columbia-class submarines are currently the #1 acquisition priority of the U.S. Navy. The Navy plans to procure one Columbia-class submarine per year from 2021 to 2035, each costing $9 billion and bringing the total acquisition cost of the class to a hefty $110 billion. Virginia-class. The Virginia-class is a class of $2.8 to $4.3 billion nuclear-powered cruise missile fast-attack submarines of the United States Navy. It is the Navy's latest submarine class in service and therefore incorporates the latest in stealth, intelligence gathering, and weapons systems technology. Virginia-class submarines are designed for a broad spectrum of open ocean and littoral missions, including anti-submarine warfare and intelligence gathering operations. The first of the Virginia-class submarines, the USS Virginia, is the first U.S. Navy submarine to be completely designed on a computer. She was delivered to the Navy in 2004, but wouldn't spend much time enjoying her new home, as just 1 year after, she would be deployed to support the global war on terrorism, where she showcased her might in the brightest, indomitable colors. USS Virginia and her siblings all have a 25-knot top speed on the surface and an Olympic gold-winning 35 knots underwater. This impressive mobility is thanks to a General Electric SG-9 nuclear reactor propulsion system that can run for more than 30 years at a stretch without refueling. In addition to this brand-new propulsion system, the Virginia-class submarines incorporate several innovations not found in previous U.S. submarine classes or any submarine class across the world. These innovations include the unified modular masts, where all masts share a common design that allows them to be puzzled together into an integrated system for housing, erecting, and supporting the most advanced mast-mounted antennas and sensors the U.S. has to offer, such as the U-shaped large aperture bow sonar, lightweight wide aperture arrays on the port and starboard flanks, a TB-29 towed passive array for rearward detection, and so on. The result of all these is a wholesome and efficient sensing of the environment that gives the submarines a sense-first, kill-first advantage over the opposition. Each Virginia-class submarine is armed with 65 missiles and torpedoes in total, including the UGM-84 sub-harpoon missile, the novel anti-ship and land attack dual-purpose Tomahawk, and the Mark 48 advanced capability heavyweight guided torpedoes. According to open-source budget documents, Virginia-class submarines could be the first submarines to wield high-energy 300 to 500 kilowatt laser weapons. These American submarines, packed with top-of-the-shelf American technologies, are what China is up against. And while the American subs seem almost undefeatable, China is one of the few countries that stand a good chance, thanks to some impressive Chinese submarine power. China has one of the most powerful submarine fleets on the planet. To China, submarine power is a crucial component of its naval modernization and expansion, which aims to challenge the U.S. Navy's dominance in the Indo-Pacific region and protect China's interests and sovereignty. China has both a nuclear-powered submarine fleet and a robust diesel-electric submarine fleet, which are constantly being upgraded and enlarged with new designs and technologies. The fleet includes 6 SSBNs armed with the nuclear-capable JL-2 SLBMs, 6 SSNs armed with torpedoes and conventional missiles, and then 46 SSKs, which are simply diesel-powered attack submarines used for coastal defense, anti-submarine warfare, and special operations. But China isn't stopping here. In addition to these submarines, the country is developing new classes of submarines that will enhance its Navy's capabilities and pose a greater threat to the U.S. These new submarine classes include 1. The Type 096 SSBN, which is expected to carry the JL-3 SLBM, a longer range and more accurate missile that can target the continental U.S. from the South China Sea. 2. The Type 095 SSN, which is expected to have improved stealth, speed, endurance, and firepower, and also to carry vertical launch tubes for cruise missiles. 3. The Type 039B SSK, which is expected to feature air-independent propulsion technology that allows submarines to operate underwater for longer periods without surfacing or snorkeling. China and the US boast submarine fleets versatile and powerful enough to execute every mission thrown at them, be it to wipe out regions or counter enemy forces. A battle between the two world powers over Taiwan would therefore be quite dramatic for both parties and for the world. A drama that, best-case scenario-wise, the world is better off not seeing. To ensure that the best-case scenario plays out, subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. Thanks for watching.